this is a radical splinter movement. So there are people who are organizing to do this. And then there are lots of useful idiots or nincompoops who follow along. This is, I think, how almost every single influence operation works, is that there are a relatively small number of people that are actors that are driving it, and then there are a very large number of people who are susceptible to it, who can be led into the trap. And like I said, I can bear no evidence on any individual whatsoever. I've had long conversations in particular about Tucker Carlson because the biggest mystery in the world right now seems to be in conservative politics is what's going on with Tucker Carlson. Speaking of just noticing things, people are noticing that he laughs maniacally. People are noticing that he's broken very heavily from who he seemed to be 2 years ago.
They're accusing Tucker Carlson of cackling because they don't like that he interviewed someone they disagree with.
Or 3 years ago. And I've talked at length and in depth with people who suspect that he's having an organic break, trying to deal with the stress of the situation, the fact that he was cast out of his job, and he's searching for answers and is angry and is broken. But who knows? He's certainly.
People understand that Tucker Carlson is an extremely wealthy person, right? People understand that Tucker Carlson is an extremely influential person that can get tens of millions of views on whatever he does without trying. Tucker Carlson right now is doing a tour around the country where he is filling arenas of people that are just coming to see him talk about whatever he wants. Tucker Carlson can pick up his phone and call any influencer and get them to come to his events, even if they're Zionists and don't agree with him. He just did an event with Glenn Beck the other day. And James Lindsay's position is that Tucker Carlson is having a psychological break based on the fact that he was forced out of his job at Fox News, which, by the way, was actually probably a pretty good thing for Tucker Carlson because it meant he got his entire contract paid out and probably gave him a giant-ass chunk of cash with which he started his own network, is producing his own content, interviewing whoever the fuck he wants, doing whatever the fuck he wants. But James Lindsay's assertion is that Tucker Carlson is having a psychological break due to the stress created based on him getting forced out of his job, and Tucker Carlson just can't handle this and is so depressed about it that he's turned to Holocaust denial. And by the way, this is all because Tucker Carlson interviewed someone that has ideas that they don't like. This is all over one interview. They're taking one interview with someone that they don't like as proof of a psychological meltdown. See, it makes more sense now when you think about it, right? You know all those people who've called me insane over the years, all those people who said I have a personality disorder over something stupid, or because they don't like my tone on the internet, or because I blocked them on Twitter because they were an asshole. Like, they're literally making the argument that Tucker Carlson interviewed this one person, and that is evidence of a psychological break with reality. Bro. Tucker Carlson has the #1 podcast in the world, James. Let's just listen to that again. That was crazy.
Who he seemed to be 2 years ago or 3 years ago. And I've talked at length and in depth with people who suspect that he's having an organic break, trying to deal with the stress of the situation, the fact that he was cast out of his job and he's searching for answers and is angry and is broken. But who knows? He's certainly wealthy enough not to need to be paid off to do something.
Wow.
So it's unclear to me what his motivations are. I'm honestly, I bring no evidence against Candace Owens or Nick Fuentes, but I'm vastly more suspicious of both of them. Especially given that Nick Fuentes was was in DC near the Capitol, not right there, with a bullhorn saying it's time to go into the Capitol, and is one of, as far as I know, 2 people who never got in trouble for doing that.
And why can't we just explore that that's more than coincidence, right? There's so
Nick Fuentes didn't go into the Capitol, and when Nick Fuentes took his bullhorn and did that, he was far enough away from the doors that it didn't make any difference, and no one around him actually moved and started to storm the Capitol, James. Like, facts fucking matter. Nick Fuentes did not break the law. Just because, and it is so fucking pathetic to me that these guys are constantly going after him for this. And by the way, everyone knows that James is spreading a conservative smear campaign against Nick Fuentes, right? Because, and Nick has presented evidence of this, there's an organization called, what is it, Influenceable? That someone paid $100,000 to Influenceable to have conservative influencers spread a smear campaign against Nick Fuentes in which they use the hashtag #FedFuentes, and James is literally lifting talking points from a smear campaign that was funded with $100,000. You're the controlled opposition, James. You are the controlled opposition. It's not fucking Nick Fuentes, who has built, by the way, an organic platform of supporters that dwarf anything these people have. He is the controlled opposition.